happen right away.
Look at us from different places.
I know. We're remote this time.
We are so fancy. Hi, Night of Light and Hunter and Canvas.
Yes, hi guys.
Confirm that you can see us.
Yeah. Can you see us?
Liam, can you see us? You're saying this is awesome, so I'm hoping that's what that means.
Oh God, I had the
live
thing open.
Out this link, that'd be great because I could not figure it out. Ooh, we got someone from Japan. Hi, Catherine. Yay!
Yay!
All right. Yay. Welcome. Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we are talking about Survivor remotely.
If you are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there are links in the description.
Yay!
So, I'm back. Hi, Sarah.
Yay! Welcome back, except I'm not there to see you.
I know. I'm sorry. I was in New York for like a whole week, actually longer than I had planned. So I was supposed to be there for the Monday live stream, but I missed it. But I'm glad to be back to talk Survivor. In this episode, these people are not messing around this season.
They're really not.
They are playing. Some of them are playing better than others. Yes. But like most people seem to be in it, which has really been fun to watch. But of course, we are sort of coming out of the Molly blindside. And Molly's not the only one who's blindsided. It's also Jamal and Jack who are blindsided by this vote off the island.
Right. So we start on Vokai, where we see this. And there was like a moment of, does anyone want to talk?
Yeah. Like literally Janet was like, Bueller?
Yeah.
You like anybody want to talk? And they're like, let's go get water.
Yeah. So we do see a little bit of like Tommy wanting to do damage control with Jack.
Yes, and Jamal.
Most importantly, Jack.
Most importantly.
Connected to him.
Yeah, but I do like Tommy because like, I don't necessarily know how close he was with Jamal, but he's still like doing the work of like trying to repair that.
Right.
Tommy just seems to be like considering every angle, like really thinking very, very carefully about his gameplay. And so I've definitely got my eye on Tommy because I don't think he necessarily needed to go out of his way to smooth things over with Jamal because Jamal could have just sort of been an island and been on the bottom. But, you know, I think Tommy is like, well, at this point, like anything is possible. So let me try to, you know, mend fences with him.
Yeah. Like personal relationships seem to be important to Tommy and that's smart.
Yeah, really smart. And Jamal, he's disappointed. He's mad. You know, he's obviously blindsided. He's left out of this vote. This is not where he wanted to be. And he chooses to sort of like try to throw his weight around at this point, which I thought was such a weird move because you were just left out of the vote. And now you're going around, you know, he's getting this bad vibe from Dan. He feels like Dan is slimy. He's kind of like a used car salesman, which is something I think you called out, Sarah, in our cast assessment video.
I agree.
And you know, he's like, then he's talking to Janet, like, Janet, we got to go after Dan. We got to get Dan out. And I'm like, why do you think, what? Who? Like, Janet is clearly in with everybody. She was on the right side of that vote. So she could just take this little information back to the team and be like, guys, Jamal is like trying to make a move. We got to get him out. It was such a weird thing. And then sure enough, the information does get back to Tommy. And Tommy's like, yeah, maybe I do need to take out Jamal.
Right. Well, she, you know, she did the right thing. She said the right things of like,
she did.
Yeah, okay. You know, she didn't say, yes, I agree or whatever. She was just like, yeah, let me talk to Tommy. Let me talk to him about it. And Tommy's like, what are we?
Yeah.
We're going to give Jamal this like control back. This is total power play.
Yes. Yeah. He was like, this is Jamal's move. Like, we're not going to make a move for Jamal. That's not what's going to happen.
And it was, which was really impressive that Tommy can like see that and call it out.
Yeah.
Literally Jamal said like, I need to get my control back. And I was like, you've had no control for not even a day, buddy.
Exactly.
Like, take a breath, sit back.
Just like be a number for at least one tribal council before you're like trying to order everybody around again.
I would do that if I were.
Yeah.
We did get a little break. We went over to Lyra for just a set to see the guys versus girls, basically.
Right. And now Vince is like this hot commodity because the guys are realizing, okay, the girls are off all frolicking in the ocean together. Like
Yeah.
clearly they're in an alliance. They're all friends, getting along great. And now they have the numbers because we voted out a guy last time. So we're screwed. So now they're all of a sudden they're like, Vince, like, buddy, don't you want to work with the guys? Like, come on over.
But did you notice that Aaron, because they're like, Vince, are we down? Are we good with this? And Vince is like, sure, yeah. And then Aaron's like, so what if the girls brought you something? And I was like, Aaron, you need to like tone that down just a little bit. Like, why are you grilling me? Like, for example, if this happens, what are you gonna do? I'd be like, I'm not working with you.
No, because you need my help right now. So like, why are you trying to, again, like people just kind of throwing their weight around when they are not in a position of power. It's a very like alpha male move. They just like can't help but like try to be in control at all times. And it's like, you're asking someone to be on your side right now, Aaron. Right. So maybe don't like interrogate him. Yeah.
I did not love that move.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting because I personally don't understand how terrifying girls are. Like we see girls just like playing in the ocean. Like that's what they're doing. Like, of course the girls get together to play. Like that's just natural, right? Does that mean that they're like conspiring against you? I don't think so. These girls actually are, but whatever.
They actually are, yeah. And we see more of this girls thing with Karishma, right? And she's sort of saying like, listen, like all the girls are, and they're taking off their underwear or whatever it is. They're in the ocean. They're having like girl time. And she's, we get this like sort of package with her where it's like, that's not really my culture. That's not my thing. Like, we don't do that. We're more conservative. So it's already starting this idea of like, she doesn't totally fit in.
Yeah.
And then she slices her hand open.
Oh my God.
Nobody checks on her. She is face down in the sand, palm up, blood like spilling out of her hand. And everyone's just like sitting around the fire eating and chatting and no one's looking at her.
This was really weird because I was like, because Dean saw it. Dean was right there. And I was like, oh my God, he's on camera. Yay. He cuts her hand and he's like, oh yeah, you should go to medical for that. So like he saw it, he acknowledged it, and she walks off. But then I was like, maybe nobody else, she didn't like scream or anything. Maybe nobody else was aware. Because then we see like Missy just be like, where'd she go? Like, did they think she was just with medical? I don't know. I had a hard, because that would be really hard if you're like on the ground bleeding and literally no one is just like rubbing your back. Like, are you okay?
You're like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Do you just sit here with you? Like, because there's really nothing they can do.
To medical? Can I walk you over there?
Something.
The edit was unfortunate because it does look like they're just literally don't care.
They do not care.
And of course, in Karishma's mind, she's building it up that they don't care, which is unfortunate. That's so
she's
sad.
Like, everyone on this tribe is dead to me. Like, that's literally what she said in her confessional moment. I was like, okay.
Which I was like, if this makes you fierce, awesome.
I know, Like, if that lights a fire under you, like, okay, I'm going to, like, get these people. Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Get you into the game of Survivor,
Yeah.
So then the other thing that happens while we're at Lyra is that the boat shows up and Vince is called to the island of the idols. And I have to say, I want to see these names being drawn. Okay? When so-and-so's at the island and they're drawing a name out of a hat with Rob and Sandra, show me the name.
Right.
Otherwise, I feel like this is a producer choice. It's a produced moment. And I don't really like that. It doesn't feel 100% fair to me that they're picking who's going to Island of the Idols.
I know. I started to think about that this episode. I hadn't really considered it before, but this one seemed a bit orchestrated.
Especially given what the challenge was.
Yes. Well, okay. So first, he gets, they're like Vince and he's like, wait, why me? Why? What?
Yeah.
Because then it's kind of weird that they're like, hey, you. What's that?
Me?
Like, why? So he gets on the boat, and this one is overnight, which hasn't happened yet. Because it's like, he'll be back before, whatever. But this is overnight. And then he gets on the boat, and then he has a complete breakdown when he sees Rob and Sandra.
That was like, that was a level of emotion that I couldn't really relate to. I was like, you seem genuinely sad right now. Like, these don't look like happy tears.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It just felt like maybe it was just like he's so overwhelmed and like gets already, Survivor's very intense. So he gets this moment to step away, and then he sees two people he loves, and maybe it's just this like intense release of emotion. Right. But to me, it seemed like he was having a mental breakdown. It was so intense.
It was a lot of, it wasn't just like oh my God, this is so touching.
Right.
It was a lot of tears, which I think is why he was like embarrassed. He's like, oh my God, grown man over here. You like breaking down in front of these idols. Yeah. But I did like, because it has been like a week now that he's been stranded on an island, not eating what he's used to, like under different pressure. And all of a sudden he's presented with these two people who he has clearly watched and admires.
Yeah. Right.
And so it was just a lot. But I really appreciated that Rob and Sandra took it nicely.
They did.
I was like, are they going to be like, dude, come on, we're playing get it together. But they were like, that's really touching. And they kind of looked at each other a couple times.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed seeing them like take that in.
Yeah. Yeah. And initially they were like, we just asked you where you're from. Like, I don't know where you're from. Like, is there some story here, like family history that we strike a nerve? But yeah, it ended up being a cute moment, but like initially I was like, why is he sobbing in front of him? But he's starstruck, and they sort of explain, okay, we have this challenge for you. We need you to sneak into the other camp and steal fire and bring it back to us, and then you can get an idol. I immediately was like, no way am I doing that.
Really?
I would not try this.
I loved the challenge. I thought it was a great thing to steal fire, because I was like, what is he going to get from the other camp?
Yeah.
What is it going to be? Stealing fire makes so much sense. I loved that. And I think I too would have jumped. He jumped at it quick. No negotiating. No, I mean, he could have had that idol for longer, but you don't know that. But I would have jumped at it too, because I just would have been like, what a fun thing to do. Sneak into the other camp. Yes. I
would have been so nervous about getting caught. And like,
I know.
You got some splaining to do if you got caught, because now the whole other tribe knows that you were out looking for an idol. Like, it just puts such a huge target on your back. But it
was hilarious.
The edit was amazing on this. Seeing he and Sandra's like, I'm going to show him every minute of my 5 years of military training, right? And she's like in beast Sandra mode, and they're like crawling through the sand, and Rob's like holding up a log, and like they're playing the limbo or something, trying not to touch their butts on this log. Which it was just, and like
Sandra took it too far.
Yeah, but seeing those like drone shots over the beach was so funny. And then the whole
they have
edit.
to map out, and they're like, we want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And she's got the bush, the like palm leaf. She's like, I don't care how stupid it looks. You do it.
I forgot about the palm leaf.
Yes. All day, every day.
It was so funny.
So good.
So, they're sort of like building him up to like go on this mission.
Yes.
And then the edit once he got to the camp is equally hilarious. Because like someone's waking up from a bad dream while he's like lurking behind a tree. And then, Kelly wakes up and is like kind of looking around. And of course, all these moments, this is heavily edited. Like it didn't actually happen this way. We know that.
100%. These people were waking up at different times.
Yes.
They're putting this together. They're like, he had a nightmare on a completely different night. It was
100%.
Yes,
right. But, they had to make it seem like this was like highly dangerous, because it was. But I'm sure it kind of went off without a hitch. Like, if he's
I don't know,
able,
that fire was right by their shelter.
It was so close.
It would be a little more distance, but he was basically up on their shelter, like scooping ash.
Yes. It sounded, again, I'm like, they're probably adding sound effects. But it sounded like he's like unscrewing his water bottle very loudly, and like the ash is like clinking inside of the thing.
I was like, honestly, by that point, I was like, the fact that no one is waking up now is ridiculous.
I know.
What is wrong with these people?
Because how heavily can you actually sleep in the jungle, right?
Yeah, exactly. But are they already to the point where like annoyed?
Exhausted.
They're just like, whatever. That's an animal. Whatever. That's a bear about to attack you. Like,
probably.
Whatever.
They're like numb to it at this point, probably.
I guess.
But it was so close.
I'm gonna alum that. Like people who've been on Survivor and be like, do you just not listen to sounds anymore at some point?
Right. Are you just
someone
like,
snuck into that camp? That's crazy.
Yeah. Right. But it had rained, so he wasn't able to actually steal the fire. He had to, collect some ash. He's like, I'm just playing it by ear. I'm improvising. I'm, doing what I have to do to try to prove to them that I achieved this task. So like, hopefully the ash is going to be enough. And he takes it back. He slips on his way out of the camp, like falls in the mud. I'm like, get it together.
Yeah.
And he gets in the boat, and Rob and Sandra very graciously are like, "This is more than enough. Like, you clearly did your best. It's not your fault that it rained. Here's your idol." And
it was
the idol
about staying calm under pressure, which he actually did if he could get there and back.
Yeah. So he wins this idol, which I think was good for 2 tribal councils.
Two tribals, because they didn't negotiate anything. So 2 tribals, or he loses a vote.
Mm-hmm.
The basic thing. So that was hilarious. I loved it. It was great. I wish that he had negotiated for more, but I love that he did it.
Yeah, it made for a fun segment.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is, of course, the immunity and reward challenge.
Yes.
And they are playing for comfort. Everybody's very excited for like a hammock and a
Goodness,
tarp.
they finally get comfort.
I know.
They should have gotten it last week.
Cushions and whatever to make their life a little more bearable in these shelters that they've built for themselves. But it's of course it's multi-part the challenge, and it's Elizabeth versus Janet in the water again. I think that that's gonna be a common theme as long as these tribes are the way they are.
Yes, I really liked this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I thought all the levels were really great. Now, obviously, we've got 2 great water people, but Elizabeth is literally trained to do it fast.
Yeah, she looks like an Olympian.
Yes, Janet is going to be like speedy and like efficient and save you if you're drowning. But Elizabeth is like, I am on a race.
Right. I'm sure Janet would have beaten anyone else in the game.
Right.
Swimming to, the net. She obviously got hung up like untying the thing. But I bet she would have been first. But like Elizabeth is a former Olympic swimmer. So like she's going to be the fastest one. So she sort of builds a big lead for Lyra early on. But then when the rest of the tribe gets to the teeter-totter thing, that's when Vokai gets a chance to catch up. And it's not because Lyra is necessarily doing anything wrong. They're just like moving more slowly.
I thought that Missy, because Missy at this point is the teeter-totter person, and I thought she was doing great. You kind of have to maneuver over people, and they have to still balance, and you have to reach far for that flag.
Yeah, I was like, why aren't they? I thought they might send a taller person out to the end, especially on the Vokai tribe. Like Missy seems like she's reaching, but still able to do it. Right. Kelly on the Vokai tribe can't even reach without like beckoning Jason over to like, she figured it out, she's like, hold on to me so I can reach. Like it's all about teamwork. Yeah. But I was surprised that they didn't send someone with longer limbs out to like untie these bags. Yeah.
Maybe they couldn't tell how far it was. I thought that was interesting. It looked like they were just choosing like small girls, which I was like, for maneuvering on the teeter-totter, maybe, but like to reach and untie, that's but so I thought Missy was doing a great job, but I guess Kelly just did a really great job because they do catch up on some time there. Still, Lyra is ahead at this point. They do get to the puzzle first, but Kelly's able to get them right there behind. And then this puzzle was just an absolute disaster.
Again. And I was shocked to see Dean on the puzzle again for Lyra after the disaster that was episode 1 when Vokai wiped the floor with Lyra on that like structure making challenge. And Dean was one of the 3 people on the puzzle in episode 1. I'm like, what are you doing in this part of the challenge? You don't belong there.
Where was it that he was like, I'm good at puzzles, and they gave him a second shot? I don't understand that at all. And then Karishma, obviously, I don't know if it was just like they thought she'd be not as great in the water. And so it was by default that she got on the puzzle. But whatever it was, they were not good. That was so hard to watch.
It was
to
embarrassing.
the point that Missy's like yelling from the back, like, Same color. Go by color.
Yes.
Like,
They're like, it's solid color on this side and dots on this side. Like, look at the pattern.
Yeah, you don't have to be a puzzle person to see
Yes.
just those basic things. But then, like Lauren and Jamal on the other side were killing it.
Yes.
Just
Jamal was like reaching around Lauren and like putting puzzle pieces into place. Like, that's how comfortable the two of them were with this puzzle. They just like saw it. I don't think it was that hard. But Dean and Krishma were both just kind of like, yeah,
it looked like they were just
like,
standing there.
I don't know. I can't figure this out. It almost felt like they were throwing it, like they wanted to lose. It was that embarrassing.
Yeah, it looked really, really bad. So obviously, Vokai wins, and Lyra's like, "Oh man, we got to go back to tribal." Ooh.
Back to tribal, yeah. And I'm thinking, I legitimately at this point was like, Dean's got to go. Like, it's his time. We haven't seen anything from him. Except, did we mention that he said split the vote in front of everybody?
No, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
The first words he has said in the entire series of Island of the Idols is
split the vote in front of the whole tribe. As soon as Vince leaves, they're like, well, we got to flush this idol. If Vince comes back from Island of the Idols, that's like number one priority. And they're like, oh yeah, but what if he has one? And he's like, well, we'll split the vote. And Chelsea's like, everybody's here.
We're all here. We're all here.
So
And then, I mean, good for him for being like self-aware in his little on camera. He's like, oh, I'm a dum-dum. And I was like, oh, so he hasn't been on the show because he's a dum-dum. Okay.
Yes.
I get it now.
Right. But I was thinking, like, because of that moment, and now he's messed up on the puzzle twice and lost the tribe, the immunity. Right. Surely he's got to go.
Yeah, the Dean's the one we're going to all talk about right now, right?
Not once did anyone say his name. It's all about Karishma and Vince.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Karishma was not on that puzzle by herself.
No, and she wasn't on the puzzle in the first episode. Everyone was like, oh, this puzzle, like, what a disappointment that we didn't win the puzzle. And the only person they thought to blame was Karishma. Granted, it's an edit. I understand. Like, they probably considered Dean and we didn't see that. Yeah. But, like, I just was shocked at, like, how much of the focus was on Karishma for losing this puzzle. I'm like, Dean, folks. Dean. Yeah,
two people. They give them both the credit. But but we're getting ahead because, so we get back to Lyra, obviously, and now they do have to figure this out. So we're talking about the puzzle. Karishma apparently ruined the whole thing. But we're saying Vince probably has an idol. Now, I find this very interesting because Elizabeth went first, came back with what I thought was a very horrible see-through lie. Yeah. And we've not heard anyone say, what about Elizabeth? She might have.
Yes. No one.
But then
no one said anything.
He got on the boat. He hasn't even like lost sight of him.
Yeah. Right.
Well, obviously he's going to come back with an idol.
So we got to vote him out.
Okay. Like, I don't know. All of a sudden Lyra's playing a completely different game.
I know.
I'm confused.
Very, very strange. But it's basically the guys come up with this split vote plan, right?
We see it first,
Yeah, we see Dean, I think, come to Missy, and he's like, listen, like, the guys, we're all going to vote Karishma, and, like, you girls, you could probably get all the girls to vote for Vince. We got to flush this idol, and, so we'll get Vince out, but if that doesn't work out, then we'll get Karishma out. That's the plan. And Missy's like, I'm not going to do a plan that the guys came up with. The guys are not in charge. Like, we have a girls' alliance and we have the numbers, so we're going to decide what's going on here.
Yes, ma'am, Missy. Like, that's right. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I love that she's like, we don't listen to the guys. We don't give them the numbers. Like, no. Right. No. And she considers Vince, kind of a number on her side, which is true at this point.
Yeah, Vince was working with the girls for sure. Mm-hmm. And so she talks to some people, and specifically, I think she has a conversation with Vince, right? Where she's like, which guy would you go after? Because she's kind of looking for another target other than him. And he says that, he would probably go after Tom. And people are talking about how Tom's a liability, I guess, because he's old. Like, I don't understand really where that came from.
I was actually disappointed because I didn't want Tom to go. But Vince is like, he's older. He's not really going to like hold up in the tribe. And I was like, I don't know. Like, again,
he's a former NHL player.
Exactly. Like, if we're talking about a male that we want to get rid of, Dean is the one
Dean.
that I keep pointing to, not Tom.
Dean.
So like, I loved that Missy was bringing this up. This was great, but I was like, I don't know about this Tom plan.
Yeah, right.
And then it goes from there because Vince then like talks to Karishma. Well, this was entertaining.
Yes.
Karishma's like sort of wishy-washy. She's just bummed that her name's being thrown out.
Right. And like, Vince is like, well, give me another name.
Yeah.
And she's like,
didn't need a name. He was like, Tom. Tom is the name. Say Tom. Are you not Tom?
Vote Tom.
Yeah.
Vote for Tom. It's Tom. And she's like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. I just want people to play the game. But she won't throw out a name and play the game with Vince. But I have a feeling that's because she was in on the larger plan.
Yeah.
Sort of went down at Tribal.
Now that it's all over, I can go back and analyze these conversations differently. But in the moment, I was like, come on, Karishma, get on board. Yeah. Let's go.
Right. And it turns out that Missy wasn't so against this plan that the guys came up with, because that's kind of how it went down.
Yeah. I mean, I probably didn't want to give the men the power, but at the end of the day, she's like, nah, this makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Vince probably has an idol. We got to flush it. Whatever.
Right.
So we get to Tribal, and of course, again, all the talk is about the puzzle, but people only really seem to be talking about Karishma and the puzzle. And she is kind of feeling the heat and, makes a comment about how she feels like an outsider in the sorority of girls. Like, she doesn't really fit in with them. And they're all a little bit like, what? Like, they're. Yeah.
Was it Elizabeth who said, like, please don't think this way? Like, you're still part of the girls?
Yeah, right.
Like one of the girls, and I was like, great, I'm glad she said that, because that is the point. Like, you're with us, please don't think that way. But the way that she said you're part of the girls made it sound like you're part of our alliance.
Exactly.
Like, saying it to the guys of like, you're our number.
You're with us. Don't let this alliance fall apart because you're like feeling some kind of way. Like, that kind of thing.
And I honestly did feel like a lot of this was in Karishma's head. Like, maybe she's not super tight and some of the other girls are tighter with each other. Mm-hmm. And it does feel like a different, but like, I feel like a lot of it is in her head, and she needs to kind of get out of her head and just be like, I'm a part of this alliance in this group. Yeah. And be okay with that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's got to kind of get out of her own way.
Yeah. She was talking about, other things she can do for the tribe, which wasn't great, but at least she was trying to say things and fight. Yeah. But then she gets up and starts talking.
Yeah.
To Elizabeth first, and Tom's
which again, like, looking back on that, based on how we know this ends up, I'm just confused. Like, what is she whispering? Why is she talking to them? Like, what's the plan here? And Tom he kind of calls it out, and he's like, this is a show.
Yeah.
I'm not like swayed by this. This does not make me nervous. This is desperate. You're trying to create a moment.
I think because I think she was in her head that she probably went to Elizabeth and was like, are we definitely voting at Vince? Like, is this definitely like, I think
are you turning on me?
So paranoid. Yeah. Right. I don't think it was for show, but it was great.
Yeah. Well, they get to the vote, right? And everybody writes everything down. And they did show Dean's little moment where he was like, as somebody famously said, split the vote. And I was like, Dean, you're out. Like, something's going to happen here. And like, they're going to flip everything and we're all going to be blindsided and Dean's going to go home. But that is not what happened, because we get from the vote. And it's essentially, like I said, it is the way that split vote plan was set up by Dean to Missy, except Vince voted for Tom. So that was the only vote for Tom. And then the rest of the guys voted for Karishma, and all the girls voted for Vince.
So ultimately what happened, because we should say Vince does not use his idol, does not play his idol.
Sandra and Rob were shook.
They were. Sandra and Rob were like, what? Once the votes come out. They're not even talking about Vince. Like, I'm sure Rob and Sandra were sitting there not even thinking about Vince, because that's like, it played off in Tribal perfectly. It played off to us because I'm buying that Tom's about to go. And like, Tom's attitude was kind of like, we got to strengthen this tribe. I want to win. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, you need to care more. Oh no, you're about to go.
I know. It's that edit where you're like, as soon as you're comfortable, you're going home, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. But really, Vince was the one that was comfortable. They totally played that off of like, if we can get him out with holding an idol, great, let's do it. They made him feel comfortable. He was the only one who voted for Tom, and everyone else went with their plan. And so now looking back, I have to imagine that Vince's conversation with Missy is like, already Missy knows that Vince is going.
Yeah, and she's trying to make him feel comfortable.
Yeah. And, you know, conversations during Tribal, they're just like trying to keep it a secret so that Vince doesn't play an idol.
Yeah.
And then
so it worked.
It did. He left with an idol. I'm bummed. I loved Vince.
I did too. He was so fun and like
so
a different
fun.
kind of character than we normally see on Survivor. Like
Yes.
interesting background, like, you know, sort of interesting dynamics on the tribe, you know, him fitting in with the girls more so than the guys. Like there were just interesting things going on with him, but he really got screwed by being picked to go to Island of the Idols.
Yeah, that was it. Just them picking him and him going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have even been considered probably.
No, probably not.
I was all set up for him because he has a mind for the game. He was thinking about it. He was playing. I was all there for him to be against anybody he wanted to be against. And like trying to drag Karishma along or whatever it is. But no, they don't. They're playing smarter than I am, I guess.
And I think they are playing smarter than even they realize because he didn't play the idol, so they don't even know that he had it. They don't even know how good that move was to put him out with an idol in his pocket. You know, they just think like, well, you know, we had to take the chance to try to flush the idol, and like, I guess he didn't have one, but whatever, you know, he had to go.
Yeah.
So they don't even know how good the move was.
Yeah, it was. So, they did it really, really well. They convinced him.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vince is gone, and it's a little disappointing, but at least it wasn't Elaine.
We didn't even see much of Elaine. She just
that was going to be that was going to be my one issue with this episode and the last one. Frankly, you know, her tribe didn't go to Tribal last episode, so like it's natural that we get less Elaine. But I need more Elaine because I feel like Christian season, no matter what was going on, we always got something from Christian.
True.
And Elaine is the Christian of this season, so give me more Elaine, please.
That's true, but I think she was replaced by Missy, which I liked seeing.
A little bit,
Missy has a head on her shoulders.
She does. She is very smart and like seeing things very clearly, and I like Missy a lot so far.
Now, did you see the scenes for coming up?
I did watch it, but refresh my memory. What was
it? Wasn't anything exciting except the fact that it looks like Dean and Chelsea are gonna have a little romantic something.
A little showmance or something, or whatever they
call it. Like, this is Dean's edit. He's gonna like flirt with Chelsea. This is it. This is what we're getting. And he can't do puzzles.
It's probably the only way he's gonna get anywhere in this game is if he gets himself.
But Chelsea's so smart and so good. Like, I hope he doesn't drag her down.
I don't think he will. I think if anything, she'll use him like as maybe a shield. Like, we got to get Dean out. He's like super strong and capable. You know, she can just sort of always have him there as a shield. Or just use him as a number. Like, I think Chelsea's smart enough to use that to her advantage. At least I hope she is, because I like Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I guess he might last if she's on his side.
Yeah, right. She'll drag him all the way to the end because he's not doing anything right, and he's a good person to have in the finale.
I guess. My goodness.
I mean, you know, I'm being hard on Dean. I'm sure, you know, hopefully we'll see some better gameplay from him.
But it's just so funny that we didn't see him for 2 episodes, and then he finally shows up, and it's like, huh?
And he literally messed up every aspect of the game. Social, immunity challenge, like everything was wrong this episode. So and I guess there's only way to go is up for Dean. So better things, I'm sure, from him.
I forget who it was, but I was watching one of the Rob Has a Podcast last week about Survivor, and he had on, who was it that he had on last week? It was, you know, a former player that we know. But anyway, the highlight was, he was like, yeah, I watched the episode with Chelsea, Dean, and somebody else. It wasn't Elaine. Chelsea, Dean, and somebody else. And so now that I see that Chelsea and Dean are maybe flirty, I thought that was interesting that Chelsea and Dean were watching the episode together.
Huh. Maybe that that a relationship bloomed into something that is going to last outside the show.
So it might be a real thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the episode. What are you guys saying?
Yeah. What's going on in the comments? I don't have the YouTube thing open in the.
Oh, can you see the comments?
Chat. No, the comments are coming through in my chat on my end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe I have to go to live comments. Oh, there they are.
There they are. There they are. Well, you guys are just chatting with each other. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Diva says the live stream's going great. Thank you. Good.
Good. I'm glad.
Catherine, what are you saying? And now hasn't Krishma painted a bigger target seeing as by this edit, orchestrated this blindside? Oh, I don't think this is on Krishma's resume. Is that what you're thinking?
I'm not sure that it is.
No.
I think if this is like a Dean Missy thing, probably.
Yeah, I feel like Missy is running that ladies group.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh, David. So everyone has been talking about how hot Tommy is, and you pre-season.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not into redheads. Have you changed your mind? Is Tommy?
I have. Tommy's hot. Tommy's hot. Yeah.
I think he's got pretty eyes, but I'm just not thirsting over him like everybody else.
Yeah, I will say Dean is more my type, but
Dean?
I know.
The one that looks like Brett from BB20? That's not in the show?
Like Brett? He doesn't look like Brett, Sarah. Don't say that.
I think he's just like Brett.
Well, I don't find Brett attractive, but yeah, I think I like Dean better than Tommy. But Tommy's hot. Tommy's hotter than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
Because he's got that body, like he's very stacked. Like he doesn't look like that.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't get that impression. And then like when I saw him with the shirt off, I was like, whoa, this dude is like jacked.
Yeah. He's got a good bod. And I do like his eyes, but I don't know. I'm not finding anyone super hot this season.
That's what a friend of mine said too. They were like, oh, this is like a cast. It seems like they cast these people more as like players of the game and like interesting personalities, which is fantastic. Like it's not just a bunch of hot young people like Instagram models,
Yes.
It is making for a good season so far, I think.
Yes. I agree, Canvas. Missy is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm, she is.
No, I loved Brett from BB20. I thought Brett was hilarious. People are defending Brett. I absolutely thought he was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I don't think Brett's hot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think Dean's hot, but not Brett. I need to stop talking about guys that I think are hot. Let's move on.
Oh, okay. I was doing it too. Okay, well, this is great. I can't believe we did this. Look at us. We're so, I don't know, technical now.
We did it.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you all.
While we figure out our schedules, but we will be back together on Monday, right?
Yes, we will.
We'll be back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, to chatty with you guys. Will Kelly try to get an alliance with the person who goes to the island? Oh yeah, they did sort of hint that someone on her tribe obviously will go next. And Kelly's like, what are they going to know?
Yeah.
But we didn't even see, I thought it was interesting. We didn't see anything like Elizabeth going up to Vince and being like, so. But I think they had to have connected. They had to have connected to each other.
Yeah.
Got to keep the story straight. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Yay. Thank you.
Right.
I'm glad this worked out. So we will see you guys on Monday. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. We're ending the live stream now. Bye.